Morning, Creator. Corey here. Today is Saturday the 8th, and it is 8:09 in the morning. And before we get started with this video, something I would really like to share with you guys. I got me a kitty. We've had her for about 3 weeks now. She's probably like two to 3 months old. We don't know exactly how old yet. I know we shared this story in the Master Key system, but I just wanted to share it again while we're reading you, because, well, I recall when we were going over section 11, we were talking about how when you think of things and they appear in your life. And I just want to share the story on this video too. One night when I was heading towards a liquor store, I seen a group of stray cats, and I was just thinking of my old cat, my first cat that I had. His name was Boomer, and it's been about two and a half years since he last passed away. And that night I was just thinking of how much I wanted a cat. And funny, the next day I visit my college to do some research, the college that I graduated school from, where I went to get my NASM. And on my way back home, there was a high school kid, and he was walking home with 2 kittens. And I was walking by him, out of nowhere he just says, "You want one?" And I take a look at the cats, and I'm looking at this one. This was actually the first one I seen, and this one's actually a female. It's just very, very interesting how it happens. You think of something and then it ends up manifesting in some form in your life. And I know for a fact that there has been something that has happened to you in that exact same manner, whether it's an animal, whether it's opportunity, like business matters, whether it's somewhere you want to go, and someone, you're thinking of this place you suddenly want to go to, and then later that day or somewhere along the line that week you meet up with someone who has just been there, or that's heading there, or just mentions it. These things, they just pop up in our lives. But that being said, I just wanted to share that with you. The last chapter we went over was chapter 11, which was on periodicity and how things happen within certain periods of our lives, like certain time spans that we go through, like certain things we go through in that certain specific time frame in our lives. And then this chapter is chapter 12, or section 12, and this one is entitled The Source of Life. And we are going to find this one on page 239. So, all that being said, let's continue with this chapter. So life is not created, it simply is. All nature is animate with this force we call life. The phenomena of life on this physical plane, with which we are chiefly concerned, are produced by the involution of, quote, energy into matter. And matter is itself an involution of energy. And what is the energy? Okay, energy is the force, the inanimate force, which is, responsible for all life. It's what mind is, spirit. It's this everywhere present energy that permeates, penetrates, and fills all of space. And the involution of energy into matter, okay, hold on. Phenomena of life on this physical plane, with which we are chiefly concerned, are produced by the involution of energy into matter, okay? Like he's saying, physical life, the condensation of this field of energy that we all live in, okay? The densification of this energy becomes matter. And matter is itself an involution of energy, a manifestation of energy. Living tissue is organized or organic matter. Dead tissue is unorganized or inorganic matter. Okay, us, we're living tissue. Okay, we're organic matter. Okay, sorry, I wanted to move that. Also, one thing, my cat was playing with this. My business license came in the other day, and my business tax certification. So I know I shared it in another video. I ended up starting my own fitness training business, and even this one kind of just fell in my lap. I even became an ambassador, or a fitness clothing rep for Paragon Fitwear. And it's funny how it just all happened. And, after I got this, my brother, he mentioned what Paragon was, which I had no idea what Paragon meant. But he was saying that this shirt was, suitable for us. He was saying Paragon is for like noble, it represents a noble type thing, like a leadership type. And I thought that was just really cool. But back to what we were saying here. I know we kind of got out of focus and sidetracked, but it's all good. So living tissue is organic, or organized, or organic matter. Remember, what this living tissue is, or only an organization of these trillions of cells, which are what we are made out of. And this living tissue is constantly creating and recreating itself. And dead tissue is unorganic or inorganic matter, like this live rock, okay? I know I just mentioned it in the Master chapter, or section 19 of the Master Key System, about organic and inorganic life. And us as living beings are organic life, where we constantly grow. We live from 1 to 100 years, on average, at least to this day. While this rock is going to be here today, the same as it is today. It's going to be the same tomorrow, and it's going to be the same the day after tomorrow. Okay, maybe the same 20 years from now. Okay, if it's still around, if it doesn't get lost, or if someone doesn't break it, it's going to be the same. And even if it's broken, it's still going to be the same, because it's strictly dead tissue. It's inorganic. When life disappears from an organism, disintegration begins. The process of organization ceases. So when a person passes away, okay, the cells of which they are made, these tissue, this living thing, ceases to be. It ceases to be organized, and after from ceasing to be organized, it starts to disintegrate. Okay, that's where bodies start to wither away, and nothing but their skeleton is left behind. Organization requires a high rate of vibration, or short wavelengths, moving with great intensity. The molecules of which the tissue is composed are in a continuous state of activity. The result is the tissues manifest, what we call life. And it's very interesting that he's mentioning this in this paragraph, because we remember reading in the introduction on how, our tissue, he's saying it comes from organization requires a high rate of vibration. Okay, so the only way that these cells, this living tissue of which our physical being is composed of, the only way it comes organized into this physical form known as man is by the rate of vibration behind that man. Okay, remember how we were going over how mind is the active principle within everything. Mind is the creative principle within everything. Okay, mind is the energy which gives life to all life. Okay, mind is the energy which condenses itself and creates matter and manifests itself in matter. Okay, and this organization, which requires a high rate of vibration, is simply this organic tissue. It's manifesting what the vibrations that we are created from. Our mind body, our subtle body, our physical being is an exact replica of the vibrations emanating from our subtle body, our mind body. Okay, a high rate of vibration or short wavelengths, moving with great intensity. The molecules of which the tissue is composed are in a continuous state of activity. So the molecules are always constantly responding to the vibrations of which you are releasing. And the result of the tissue manifests what we call life. Life vibrations have but one source, and that is the sun. Since senility is a part of the death process, it is caused by the accumulation of earthly salts or so-called mineral matter. Senility is the part of the death process and is caused by the accumulation of earthly salts or so-called mineral matter. This mineral matter usually consists of lime and chalk, which settles upon the walls of the arteries, which becomes hardened and calcinous and lose their elasticity. Kind of like very close to oh wow, I just forgot exactly what it was, but there's a symptom. It's in my NASM book. But this symptom is the result of your intestines hardening. You know, they're becoming hardened. They're calcinous and lose their elasticity. If the vibrations are, hold on, let me check it out, because now it's on my mind and I need to figure out what that is. You guys ever have something you've been doing for, you know, a good while now, and you still think about it every day, but you've been doing it for so long, and it's just, you know, doesn't really seem like you're getting anything out of it? It's kind of what this is right now. I know we've already gone over this within ourselves, you know, about why we're doing this anyway. A lot of people might not watch it. Hardly anybody will probably even watch it. But it you know, it helps me to grow, and you never know what could come out of it. Because I know when I started, you know, I had, you know, like everyone does, they start with the vision. You know, they see it, what it could be, and they act on that vision they had, because they believed in it, you know. It's been about a year since we've been doing this. I still believe in my vision. Okay, chronic health conditions. Okay, osteoporosis is of the bones. Okay, bone mineral density starts to not be so dense. Okay, people with osteoporosis, it's mainly in the elder generation. Okay, that's when their bones start to get holes, they start to become brittle. Okay, there's osteoporosis and there's osteopenia. Okay, they're very similar with each other, not much difference. And people with osteoporosis are highly recommended to do resistance training to help strengthen the bones, because the bone is living tissue. Okay, just as your skin is, just as your muscles. Okay, the bones are constantly, you know, recreating themselves too, constantly creating more calcium. Calcium is actually the most abundant mineral in the body, and calcium is what our bones are made out of. I believe it was coronary heart disease that we might be talking about. Okay, because coronary heart disease, okay, remains the leading cause of death and disability for both men and women, despite a significant 29.2% reduction in death rates from coronary heart disease between 1996 and 2016. So over the course of 20 years, it's saying even if the cause of death from coronary heart disease has decreased by 29.2%, it is still the leading cause of death among men and women as of this day. You know, and how do we get coronary heart disease? You know, people smoking. Okay, let's see what it says right here. Okay, hold on. Let's read this part really quick. Okay, coronary heart disease is caused by atherosclerosis, which is plaque formation, which leads to the narrowing of the coronary arteries, and ultimately angina pectoris, which is chest pain. Okay, myocardial infarction, which is a heart attack, or both. The primary cause of coronary heart disease is poor lifestyle choices, primary cigarette smoking, poor diet, and physical inactivity. From a medical standpoint, the emphasis of treating coronary heart disease is centered on improving the health of the internal lining of the coronary artery, called plaque, which would involve stabilizing. You have to stabilize the internal lining of the coronary artery. And the other primary focus of the treatment on coronary heart disease is through medical management. Okay. Maybe it wasn't that one. Okay, there's diabetes, there was cancer, obesity, resistance training, osteo. Here we go. Arteriosclerosis. Okay, that's what it is. Arteriosclerosis, which is a general term that refers to hardening and loss of elasticity of arteries. Okay. So arteriosclerosis, okay, is the hardening of the arteries. And what he's saying here is this mineral matter, which usually consists of lime and chalk, which settles upon the walls of the arteries, which become hardened. So this lime, okay, the lime and chalk, which help these arteries maintain their elasticity, they become hardened and calcaneous and lose their elasticity. If the vibrations are sufficiently intense, it would be impossible for these salts to settle in the system. The intense vibration would make the accumulation impossible. If the vibrations are sufficiently intense, it would be impossible for these salts to settle in the system. So the vibrations, the health of the individual, and like we were saying before, when somebody's in a high state of vibration, you feel their buoyancy, you see their glow, as to where somebody who's, someone who exercises and takes care of themselves and eats right and they read and they meditate is going to be in a healthier, not only frame of mind, but their body is going to be healthier as well. As to someone who doesn't exercise, who doesn't eat right, who doesn't read, who doesn't do any of that stuff, their vibrations aren't as high. And since they're not vibrating at such a high frequency, okay, the salts which are in their body they start to settle in the system. And the intense vibration would make the accumulation possible, which means the higher you keep your vibration going, you keep these salts from settling in the body, and the minerals would be expelled in the process of elimination. Old age, decay, and death are therefore simply due to the inability of the individual to keep in tune with the vibrations from the sun, which is the source of all life. Because in reality, we are the sun. The sun is what we all live and move and have our being. Okay, the sun is what's responsible for this ethereal fluid which all things proceed. The sun. We all live, move, and have our being in the sun. Okay, all things found on Earth has been found in the sun. All the planets in our solar system, are known to have come from the sun. All these. And old age and decay and death are therefore simply due to the inability of the individual to keep in tune with the vibrations from the sun, which is the source of all life. Longevity and vitality are in direct ratio as we contact the intense vibrations from the sun and isolate ourselves from the slow, disorganizing, disintegrating, and deathly vibrations of the earth. Remember how we were going over the Emerald Tablets by Thoth the Atlantean. Okay, I'll repeat again who he was. Okay, Thoth the Atlantean was known as the god of wisdom. Okay, he's the one who built all the pyramids, the one who built the Great Pyramid of Giza, which is the biggest pyramid that's on this planet. And the building was so precise, the structure of the Pyramid of Giza has been found to be the exact same structure as another pyramid. Like when you create a building, you have a set plan. There's a specific way these pyramids were built to withstand all of time. Who knows how old these pyramids really are, but they're still there. in Thoth the Atlantean, he says that we're all light-born spirits. You know, we're all stars bound to a body. You know, our bodies are nothing but planets revolving around their central suns. You know, like he's saying right here, our whole physical being is but, you know, a manifestation of vibration. It's my alarm. It's already 8:30. So life is a rate of vibration, a mode of motion. Death is the absence of that vibration. Life is a manifestation of activity. Death is a process of disintegration, the absence of activity. The vibrations of life originate in the sun. The vibrations of death originate in the earth. The sun is the source of life, the moon of form, and the earth of disintegration or death. The earth is ever seeking to embrace in its bosom all things. It is a tomb or fixed resting place for every form of organized manifestation. The vibrations which we know that when we pass, you know, not as minds, as souls, as spirits, you know, we go and join our source. You know, we flow back into this energy, and we know our bodies go back and become one again with the earth. The vibrations from the earth are therefore the vibrations of destruction, of disintegration. Nothing has so far been able to resist the continual pull of these earthly vibrations. Everything has had to finally succumb. All form of whatever nature has thus far been compelled to return to the earth to await the vitalizing vibrations of the sun before being again brought into manifestation. But will this always be true? Not necessarily. It may not always be necessary to contact these disintegrating vibrations. We may be able to insulate ourselves to some extent at least. The universe was built by vibration, that is to say, the specific form which everything has on either a large or a small scale is due absolutely to the specific rate of vibration which gave expression to it. The universe then, both in general and in particular, is the effect of a system of vibration. In other words, the music... Ow! Yay! This little thing just bit me in my foot. I just put the cat out there so she stops biting my foot. While I was reading, she was even jumping on my lap and scratching my leg. I know, cats. You gotta love them. You know, cats are actually the known to be the most dangerous predator on the planet, which, you know, it's totally obvious that they are. Okay. So the universe was built by vibration. Vibration? I don't know if that's a word, Corey. Oh man. The universe was built by vibration. That is to say, the specific form from which everything has, on either a large or a small scale, is due absolutely to the specific rate of vibration which gave expression to it. The universe then, both in general and in particular, is the effect of a system of vibration. In other words, the music of the spheres has expressed itself in that form which we denominate the cosmos. You know, Charles F. Haanel says that everything comes from the sun. Science says everything comes from the sun. in my NASM book it says our cells are only put into activity by the sunlight, by the energy we receive from the sun. What is it that put the sun there? Where did the sun come from? How can we see stars from millions of miles away if this ethereal fluid has to exist everywhere? It has to exist everywhere. Remember what we learned about the law of vibration, how things travel along this ether, and this ether must be everywhere present, or else we wouldn't even be able to see the stars, because there wouldn't be that median, that line of transportation for the light from other solar systems to even reach us. This thing. This vibration expresses intelligence. This is not intelligence as we understand the word, but a cosmic knowledge which is responsible for the growth of fingernails, hair, bones, skin, or teeth, the circulation of blood, and breathing, which proceed whether we are asleep or awake. And remember what we learned what this intelligence was, that is responsible for the growth of our fingernails, our hair, our bones, our teeth, our skin, and the circulation of our blood, and the beating of our hearts, and breathing. Okay, this intelligence is brought from our subconscious mind. Okay, and we learned for that the sympathetic nervous system and the solar plexus is the organ, and the nervous, and the system of nerves, which is under the supervision or under the activity of the subconscious mind. And thus consciousness or intelligence abounds in everything, peculiar to itself, only in that it differs in character to every other thing. For there is but one universal consciousness or intelligence, while there are multitudinous different expressions of it. The rock, the fish, the animal, the human are all recipients of the one universal intelligence. They are only differently formed manifestations of cosmic substance, differently combined rates of motion or vibration. So everything that paragraph just said was how, we've just been saying, this entire time. This consciousness, this intelligence that works within us as the subconscious mind. Remember we learned that the subconscious mind is the same in kind and quality as the universal mind. The only difference is one of scale, one of degree, that we have a portion of this universal mind manifested within us, and then, we ourselves we have an ability to think, like no other creature on this planet, and it's that ability of thinking which makes us able to go out and create things. And we ourselves, we vibrate at a totally different rate of vibration than anything else on this planet. Okay, and same thing with them. Everything is vibrating at their own rate of vibration, which is the exact reason why they manifest in that specific form. Okay, the form that each one of us takes physically is a manifestation of the form of which we all are subtly, as energy. He's saying this one universal consciousness or intelligence, and there are many different expressions of it. Okay, Charles is saying that. Wallace D. Wattles has said that. Emerson says that. All these. The rock, the fish, the animal, the human are all recipients of this one universal intelligence. They're all manifestations, and they are only differently formed manifestations of cosmic substance, differently combined rates of motion or vibration. And we're just going over how organic living tissue takes form and shape according to the vibration behind it. Okay, and we're made of those organic tissues. there's a science experiment on sound, okay, the effect that sounds have on things, okay, and we even learned in here what sound does, okay, as I am speaking with my Visuddha chakra, okay, I'm creating vibrations with my throat, okay, and as I create those vibrations, okay, it's being registered in this ether, this energy, okay, in front of me, the energy and the atoms in front of me are changing, okay, the atoms and electrons are changing in accordance with the vibration that is coming outside of my, that I am speaking, okay, and it travels along this ether, okay, this ethereal fluid by the law of vibration, okay, it travels in the form of vibration. It is picked up by your own individual point of consciousness, your own mind, and you take up that vibration and you interpret it however you interpret it to be. Okay, back to how I was with sound. Okay, this experiment, this lady was seeing inside of like a drum tube or a sound tube, okay, and this drum had sand on it, okay, and the sand literally formed itself into an image, or it created a picture, that was an expression of the vibration of her voice, as you can say. Okay, there's a video on YouTube. Look it up. Just the effects of sound. On substances. The effects sound has on specific things. So mind. Okay, now we're going back into mind. Okay. Well, we were talking about mind this whole time, but okay, mind. Mind is a system of vibration. The brain is the vibrator. Okay, mind is a system of vibration, your subtle body. Okay, remember, this physical being is a manifestation of our mind. The mind that we have, is like the mind is a system of vibration. The brain is the vibrator, and thought is the organized effect of each particular vibration when expressed through the requisite combination of cells. The organized effect of each particular vibration when expressed through the requisite combination of cells. Remember how we were going over the brain. The brain is only an instrument, a mechanism of our attachment. And our brain literally grew, like it's nothing but an embryonic world, and it literally groups itself in accordance to whatever thoughts you are thinking. Mind is a system of vibration, and thought is the organized effect. Okay, and when we are thinking, we are setting brain cells into activity, and our mind literally, our brain literally groups and forms itself in congruence to what is happening in our mind. And how we are going over, I know for a fact that you thought of something, and somebody else was saying I was thinking that same thing. You two are in the same mental atmosphere. Your minds are communicating, your brains are communicating. Remember how we were going over the transmitter and receiver of radio waves, okay? One station is broadcasting a frequency, okay, for music, okay, and then you, okay, I remember using Air 1 as an example, okay, Air 1 is broadcasting their station, and you just need to turn into that station on your car, and your receiver is receiving the vibrations emanating from Air 1's radio station. That is how you hear music in your car. You're connecting with that vibration, you're receiving it. And a thought is the organized effect of each particular vibration when expressed through the requisite combinations of cells. Okay, and its expression is through the brain cells, and then your brain goes on to, like when you consciously choose to move this live rock, your brain sends electrical signals, it receives the message from your mind, it goes on sending the message through your body to move, your certain bodily movements. Man. Here, we're gonna go ahead, stop this video right here. My battery's almost dead. It's already been 35 minutes. We've only gone through 4 pages.